Okay, once you understand how someone grades, you often understand what they value and what they're looking for. So let's talk about the grading of the email assignment, and I think that everyone will understand more as in terms of what's important about it. Now first, points are points, and the purpose of a point system in any case is to serve as an incentive and an evaluation tool. It's a metric. So when we're looking at this, I had to really think about what's significant here and what's important. And the role of an email with an employer is to, or a potential employer, is to help you get the job. So anything that makes you a worse candidate in your email is a negative. And if overall the email itself, a thank you, becomes more a negative than a positive, then it fails. So with that in mind, let's take a look at this email. Now, this is not a real email. This is just the text of an email, but I've included all the elements that you would see in a real email. So we have our person that we're sending to. I didn't even put the email address. Let's assume it's in the address, a contact. So the person, our Rob, did not save the full name of Stan. We have our sender, Rob Gronkowski. Apparently, I didn't even put his name correctly. We have our date, and we have a subject line of thank you email. Now this violates some email rules. Emails should be capitalized, subject lines should be capitalized like book titles, and they are communications. So they don't have the name of the assignment. Just as you do not put Jeff's resume at the top of Jeff's resume, you do not put thank you email at the top of a thank you email. You say thank you. You say something else for the subject line, but not that it's an email, because that's obvious. So here we have a problem with the subject line from the very beginning. Then we have a salutation. Hey Stan, which even if the man says call me Stan, which he does in the context of this situation, hey Stan is not appropriate. That is too casual for an interviewer. Exclamation points, generally avoid them, particularly with people you don't know very well. They are very casual. They take casual to a new level. Now, I sometimes put some exclamation points in there, spice it up a little bit, but not when I'm trying to get the new job. So, let's look at the first sentence. We're looking for a thank you. This is direct and to the point. Thank you for the interview today. Here we have a reader orientation with today and a reminder that it was an interview. That's fine. If you've seen someone today, you probably don't need to mention the position. Once a few days have passed, you want to put the position that you interviewed for. That's a typical reader orientation tactic. Give them a little more detail or specifics so that they know who you are. It was interesting to learn about company. Here is a problem with the writing. It was interesting to learn about your company, about the company. What company? Put the name of the company that Stan works for. Now we have a lack of transition. I recommend that you go to a sushi restaurant. You will like it! Another exclamation point. Sincerely, Rob. This is a net negative because there's no transition here and it's too casual and we have an error. So if I were looking this over, Rob would immediately, Gronkowski, would immediately drop and not be one of my preferred candidates. So let's look at the rubric. Subject line. Well, there is a subject line. It has two things wrong with it. It can either get a 0 or a 1. It's not going to get a 2. So let's be generous and give it a 1, because there is a subject line at least. But it could say thank you with a capitalized Y, instead of thank you email. The the salutation, hey Stan, too informal with the the exclamation point. It too could get a 0 or a 1, and we'll be generous and give it a 1. There is something there. But if I saw hey or if I saw the exclamation point, either one of those is going to end up with half credit. So with both of them, it's probably more fair to give it 0. More accurate. Reader orientation. Thank you for the interview today. That works great. Thank you. Is there a thank you? Yes, there is. It sounds sincere. It works. Appropriate closing. Sincerely, Rob. Well, it should say Rob's full name because he's applying for this position and he wants to remind the person of his full name so that it is, right there and available. It's just a little more formal, and when you are trying to interview, most of the time you're going to be a little more formal than you would be normally. And it depends on the industry. Things are becoming more casual. Editing. There's a problem with that editing. 2 problems. 1, it was interesting to learn about company. 2, there's a lack of a transition between the company and the sushi restaurant. I don't quite understand how they are there together. So how many points does this get? This is a whopping 4 out of a total of 10 possible. So, should this person go back to the drawing board? Yes. Alright, now I have a billion things open. Sorry. Here's a different email, an improved email. So here's an email to Stan. Dear Mr. Mlotsky, thank you for the interview today. It was interesting to learn more about Debney Foster. This opportunity, particularly the chance to travel and work in different departments, is exciting. On a personal note, I hope your boys are getting excited about Barcelona. Sincerely, Rob Gronkowski. Okay, well, let's stick our S here. That's making me crazy. We still have the problem with the thank you email. It doesn't seem so egregious anymore, does it? Now that we've seen a better version. Dear Mr. Mlotsky, this is a little too formal. So let's use the comma for email rather than the colon. We'll save the colon for business letters. Reader orientation. Nailed it. Thank you for the interview today. Thank you. Right there. Appropriate closing. Yeah, that's fine. And editing. This is so much better. It was interesting to learn more about Debney Foster. We have the specificity. We have a positive comment about the position, which affects the tone. This opportunity, particularly the chance to travel and work in different departments, is exciting. And then we have a positive note about the small talk conversation. So all of this is well edited, it sounds positive, it works. So what are we looking at here? Well, this is 8 out of 10. This is a net positive. So for this assignment, how can it be better? Come back here. Thank you. Suddenly the subject line becomes a 9. Stick a comma in. Dear sounds a little old-fashioned, but it's not bad. And our total is 10 out of 10. So these are small changes, but this is what you're asked to do. Please don't quibble about these points. This is a 10-point assignment. The purpose is to learn what the expectations are. These are such small assignments, and they are intended to teach you some valuable things about something you'll be doing over and over and over again. So have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.